So all that struggling, and now a little bit of heat in the top and knock the pin out. There we go. Pins out. Oops, they're very hot. There we go. This is what we were after. So we're going to clean that up. Get a bit of spray on that. And then this will go, when it stops steaming, up there to hold that bracket. Hold the door frame. Spare wheel frame. How about that? Driver's seat, passenger seats are out. We're taking out these boxes that the seats actually sit on. It'll be a nice clean floor for when we're painting it. Rear seats just come out. They don't take much, to be absolutely honest. Roll cage is off, and there's the rear canopy. So things getting stripped down pretty quickly. Then we'll move on to taking this windscreen off. The bonnet comes off, it's only 4 bolts. And then we're going to get into the meat of it. We're going to get this front wing off. This front wing has to be removed. We'll take that radiator out. We take the ancillaries off the inside of the inner wings. So you can see it's the air filter. And over on this side you've got some reservoirs. A bit dark in here. And then those inner wings, we'll have to take the wiring loom off of them, and we'll take those out and get those done as well. So, a lot on. So there we go, that's off. Got this one to do next. I'm just undoing the dash. We've taken off the cowling off this, and we need to get off the windscreen. Now, these are traditionally, on these, a bit of a nightmare. And what happens is they're these large Phillips bolts, or Phillips headed bolts. And so we need to undo these. And they just burr for fun. And when that happens, you've got to drill them out and grind it off, and it just all turns into a bit of a nightmare. So we've created this. This is basically a screwdriver, and we've welded on a spanner. So how does that work? Let me show you. There we go. The secret is to get right behind it. One of the things I enjoy doing when you work on these is what I would call automotive archaeology, in which you're putting your hands inside the nooks and crannies of these particular vehicles and you're pulling out all manner of detritus. We'll go into the seals another day because time's just running away with us. We've just have a look at what's in the ashtray. So let's find out who the last French army soldier was doing when he was sat in the jeeps. Let's have a look. Go the light over, Ash. Right, so what have we got in the ashtray? Let's have a look. So we're going to start off with, I reckon that looks a little bit like a Snickers wrapper. Oh, get in there. Well, it wouldn't, it is a Snickers, an actual Snickers. So that is it French? This one? Yeah, so it's a French Snickers, that's not bad. It's quite modern. What else have we got? Chewing gum, don't fancy it. No, that's a roll-up of some description. There's some other sort of dried out cigarette types. There's another fag there. Oh, hang on. What we're pulling out of the back. What do you reckon that is, Ash? Looks pretty manky. Yeah. So it looks like chewing gum. There's a chewing gum wrapper mixed with some sort of tissue. So I don't fancy putting my fingers in that because I don't know what that is. So I'm just going to go and put that all in the bin and get rid of it. But there we go. Oh my God, there's even more of it. There's just full of mankiness. Okay, so then what we'll do is we'll have a look down inside of these soon. I can already see something of interest. If I can put my hand in, what have we brought out there? That looks like a roll of electrical tape, doesn't it? What's left of it? Ah, is that money? Money's great because that's, oh no, it is holes, is it that? It's a chewing gum wrapper? Oh no, one of those mints. So, interesting. again. You're mucking with my mind.
How would I quickly put that back together?
I don't know, you're mucking with my mind. You're upsetting me.
How is that?
There's a certain sequence to getting these wings off. The first thing you want to do is you've got to release them at the top, because the wing wraps around onto this section, so that's those two. Also, you need to undo a run of 4 small bolts here, and they are captive, so they should undo, and then this entire panel just here actually comes away. Once that's done, then you loosen off the bolts all the way along the top of the panel, and then inside, okay, go up inside and see that there are 2 largish nuts. I think they might be 17, might be 19 millimeters, and you undo those 2. And then, theoretically, we've got 1 more bolt. Just got 2 bolts inside that need to be done. Now, let's go have a look at the back. You saw me at the beginning of this little vignette when we had knocked this pin. And if you actually noticed, it's got splines on it, so that was the reason why it was staying in. So this is going to go down through here and hold this in place. To hold this in place is a part that I've just put down and completely forgot where it's gone. The biggest waste of time when you're doing restorations like this is forgetting where you put things, and the older you get, the more you forget, so they take longer and longer and longer, not because you're not working as hard, not because you're not putting the amount of effort in, it's just you keep thinking, where have I put that? And when you've got a garage like this, where there are literally thousands of pieces everywhere, you've got to remember everything. Oh my God, it's gone already. There we go, Ashley the monster, whip the wing off. And now what we've got is the inner wing. It takes a little bit more work, because what we have to do to get the inner wing off is detach these elements on the inside of it, and also there's a nut down in here. Having one of those while you're working means that, yeah, it makes it even harder to remember where you put anything. The more of those that you consume, the slower everything seems to be. Right, any idea where I put that bracket? Oh my goodness, it's actually here all along. I'm just absolutely losing the plot. Okay, so what happens is this bracket needs to go on here, and what's really funky about that is they've actually got captive. It's not a captive nut, it's actually threaded. So basically the bolt comes from behind and comes through. We're working on the inner wing. Here's the air filter, so we've taken out the feed that goes into the engine, that's great. I can tell that this wing has been taken off once already by the French Army, and the reason is that little cut in there. The reason being, usually this is a complete piece, but if you are wanting to take this wing off quickly, this jump cable attachment or slave attachment, they'll actually cut it, and this is exactly what I've started doing myself. So you can actually just slide the 2 wires through, then that is off the wing, and now we're ready to go. So the final thing to do here, actually just doing one more, is this is the brake wear sensor, and this is part of the wiring loom. So if you can hold that a second. It's difficult filming, we've got one set of hands, so that should just pull apart. Now doing that gives really good access to the engine. We can get in on most of the belts. We have to take the radiator off anyway, so I won't change all these belts. Now in fact we changed them already, so I don't need to do those again, so that's good, because they're all new. Everything's looking good. Now usually, quite rightly, you just get a load of detritus that's slipped down behind the wing. So just look at this. Again, that archaeology I spoke about, I'm sure that these are probably like, there's a washer there. Just heaps and heaps. Right, okay, so not burning exactly the midnight oil. I don't know what the time is. Okay, so we've got that front outer wing and inner wing are off. I've been there chipping away at some of the signs, the vinyl signs, because we need to get that back, so we're going to be sanding it and painting it. We'll go back and we'll sort that back door out. Ashley is about to completely disassemble the front. There's always something left attached, isn't there? The front of the Jeep is disassembled as much as we want to. Now, I did talk about these bobbins. If you want to point to them, see where those two do up. There, see, those come off. If you pull them off, those plastic, do not lose those, because they are rare as rocking horse pone. Once you lose them, you forget about them, and you put the wing back on, nothing lines up properly, and you go, oh my God, why is that? So it's really nice, modular way that they've made. This is Mercedes-Benz, actually Daimler Puch made these bodies. Just all goes together really well. Now, I've never really struggled with any nuts and bolts on these. There are a couple of ones that we have lost. I think we've lost, what, two bolts have snapped, and that is it. That's not bad for something that hasn't been taken apart for possibly 20 years, maybe 40. Because this is a 1984 vehicle, so yeah. Get these rear bumpers off. I'm going to take the steering wheel off as well, actually. Yep. And that's sort of as much of the strip down as we're actually going to do before we start addressing. Let's get rid of this right. The Marianas Trench of bodywork. So if he comes off in one go. Ooh. Oh, look at that. Was that skill or strength?
Luck. Luck, it didn't smash me in the face.
And here's all the bits off of it. So things are looking really good. So let's, we're running out of battery now. So we're going to keep on going to about 10, maybe half 10, and then knock it on the head. Welcome to day 2. A bit of a late night last night, but got a lot done. We can have a look at the truck now. So we have got that rear hinge on now. So the rear door, the rear wheel frame is working nicely. We're going to have a look at that rust, that's next on the list. We've got all the front stripped down, so today I was just cleaning all of this down and getting it back into black. Got a little bit of welding to do down here, so we'll sort that out at a later date. But what we're doing at the moment, and what I've been on today, is these are the inner wings. So that's the first inner wing, so that's actually done now. So that's really, that wasn't too bad. It's in pretty good shape. Second one, not so much. It's been catching a lot of dirt as it was coming up off the front wheels. And as you can see, what's happened is it's rusted away here. So we've just got a replacement part that I've made up, and we'll tack weld that on. I usually find when you're doing these sorts of things, rather than spending all your time absolutely intricately fabricating it, what happens is, as soon as you weld it, things start to bend because of the heat, and then all this bit up this end is all out of kilter. So the best thing really to do is to weld partially it on, and then tap it round with a hammer, and then keep spot welding until it follows the contours. How do I know that's the shape we need? Well, cardboard aided design, or in fact it's paper aided design. So it's actually making the piece first out of paper, make sure it fits, and then before you're cutting out a metal. So what we'll do now is we'll get some spot welds in and along those. Guys. Welding's done. It's just this section in here. So that's all gone in to plan. Outside, that's the outside of the wing, and that's the inside that goes towards the engine. So what I'm going to do now is going to give it a coat of dark paint to get it all into one colour. So get on with that now. I'll come back and give it another coat. I didn't use the compressor and the gun because it's a lot of work to mix all that paint up and clean the gun down and everything afterwards for just that little bit of inner wing. So this stuff is pretty good. Synox, their own brand, and I always use satin black because it gives a nice crisp finish. So we'll let that dry off, we'll give it another coat, and then we've got to do the reverse side, but that's the side that goes towards the wheel, so we're going to do that in underbody. Now this stuff, the Synox underbody, is absolutely class. It's a brilliant product, but the only downside is the expense. So I think this is around £15 a can. So really we don't want to go and use sort of 10 cans of this on a wing because that's just not economic. So it's a nice easy format to use. It goes on really easily. It's an excellent product, but yeah, it is a little bit on the expensive side. So as I said, we'll wait that for dry, give it one more coat, and then we'll reverse it and we'll do the other side. Today is cutting day. We're getting rid of all the rust out of the chassis and out of the body. Well, there's none in the chassis actually, it's all in the body. We'll go over and have a look at what we've got. So it didn't look too bad, but actually when you start prodding it, it was a bit rusty underneath. So what we're doing is we're taking that complete section out, and then we'll restructure it and put the whole thing back in and then seam weld it. Running along, you can see here we're just starting to clear out. So this is what the panel looks like when it's new. Now you can see it is corroded, so we will be cutting this section out and going in here. And interesting, once you get up to the front, this is where the front wheel flings up. I'll just open it up and show you. This is absolutely normal for one of these. There's absolutely tons and tons and tons. It's even goodness knows what in there. So again, this will be totally removed, a repair section go in, and then we will seam weld around it. Up above the rear wheel, this is quite common in these, and it's just where this panel came down and wraps underneath, and just the water gets in between, and so it's just rotted it, and then it goes upwards. So again, this will be cut completely along and down and welded from the other side. So back into that's quite a bit of sanding on there. And then on with this, which is fantastic stuff for filling in tiny little scratches in the paint or the surfaces. So it's high build primer and beige. I always go for beige because the colours that I go onto it are usually contrasting, so it's great to be able to see how thick your paint's going on, because if you've got this underneath of it, then obviously you get a slight bit of yellow coming through, so you have to keep going on and on and on. So that's why I use that rather than dark colour primer, because I want to be absolutely certain that I'm getting good even coverage with the paint. Also, clean the back and paint the back as well, because the can rust from the back through. This is actually where you can see where the Peugeot badge had been attached. And what was interesting, and you can't really see it so much now, is up here just under the paint when I was stripping it off, someone had actually written their name. Sebastian, I think it was, and they'd done it obviously with the edge of a knife, and so they'd actually written their name along the front of this. But that was sanded out, I'm afraid, because it didn't come out very well on the camera, so it's unfortunately been sanded out, and we're going into
I was having a crash course. Now he's doing upholstery. 1 minute it was cleaning the tank, then it was welding and fabrication, and now upholstery.
Put those hog clips in. You have to open the arms up really, really wide. That's it. That's it. So it pops the next one up. That's it. Nice one. Okay. That looks really good. Okay, so that's new covers on the back. We'll put a new cover on the base.